we wanted to have our own home, and we wanted to get married, and we wanted to have kids. So all of that compressed in a couple of years meant that, yeah, it was a pretty big outlay. We've both been working full time for a long time, but still that was a pretty big hit. Then I was made redundant at probably the worst time possible. It was literally as we built a house, and as we were moving into the house, I was made redundant, which was a really big blow. And that was in the middle of wedding plans and things like that. I guess, that financial security that we thought we had was kind of not there anymore. And we had to continue on with our plans for the wedding and bits and pieces. We not long after felt pregnant with our first child, our son. And not long after that, Luke actually had an injury on a basketball court and tore his ACL. So it was kind of one thing after the other. And these are all sort of unplanned things, right?
Yeah.
And so then we found ourselves in a situation where we had, this debt and no one to turn to. Like, there was no real solutions. The solutions that are at hand to help you with debt and things like that. Yeah, it was heartbreaking, and it was so upsetting to think that everything we've worked for, to create a home for this family that we were building, we were literally not, we weren't able to hold on to. And I was just, the stress was next level. I think there's still a residue stress from that, that time in our lives. I think, like I said, I think we underestimate the stress and even, long term that puts on people. So I was literally down to this kind of last, like you'd call the financial institutions, and, in a way, everyone made you feel like you were a bad person, or that you were a criminal. It was almost like every phone call I'd make, I'd be so ashamed, I'd be so embarrassed. It's like, oh, how could you get there? Yet, there are millions of people out there living in debt, like every day. And I just felt so horrible, because we have always been so hardworking. We've always done the right thing. It's not like we went out and we went on a massive, bender, or we bought something ridiculous, like we bought a boat, or I don't know, whatever it was. It was like none of the things that kind of accumulated to the debt were, in my opinion, were so lavish that it should result in us literally having to fold on our house. It was just, it blew my mind. And so anyway, so I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said to her, look, I don't really know what to do next. I really don't know where to turn and things like that. And as it happened, she said to me, there's this girl that we went to school with. So we went to school together, and she said, actually, her sister is got some kind of a finance business, and she helps people with debt and bits and pieces. Why don't you reach out? And so I did. I reached out to Kitty and just basically said, look, I have no idea what you do, and if there's anything you can even help us with or whatever else, but we need help, and I'd love a chat. And that was basically the start. And then she sort of gave us a bit of a her story and how she started Debt Angels, and and what she has been through. And it was really nice to speak to somebody that has been through the same or similar journey, because I think the most important thing is those feels. It's like that feeling inside of you that you have when you are in what feels like a hopeless situation. And and it was amazing, because she virtually had no one to turn to. Like, she had to figure all this stuff out for herself. So it was just amazing to even have this one person that knew how to navigate the system, I guess. I'm pretty sure I cried because she just said, I remember her saying, like, we will fix this. Like, we will sort this out. I've got you. And I think to hear that, and she was the first person, like I said, that I had spoken to who I didn't feel judged by. I didn't feel like, she there was like an ulterior motive or anything like that. It was just genuine care and genuinely wanting to help. I still get teared up about thinking about it, to be honest. But anyway, so I was really hopeful. I think after the first call, I still didn't understand how she was going to help us and how we were going to get through this, and having so many conflicting, people speak to us and say things. about, I don't know, I guess not useful, information and direction. It was a lot of noise around us, and in a way she was some clarity, I guess. To have somebody in your corner from the first conversation was, a really big deal. I mean, to start off with. So in a way, I mean, I know this is going to sound corny, but, because her business is called Dead Angels, but it was like, you finally had somebody who genuinely cared and was putting your best interest first. And so for me, straight away, that was like, I felt like, okay, I can trust her, and I really felt trust and confidence. But I think for me, it was the plan and how we went through sort of next steps and what we're going to do. Like, she knew straight up, I think it was like after the first or second conversation, like she was like, okay, so I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this. And it was just amazing, because not only are you stressed through the eyeballs when you're, in debt and things like that, but there's so much to do, like an ad hoc, and then you're sitting on hold with the bank for like 45 minutes. And then are you through to the right person? And all of that is adding to the emotional exhaustion that comes with debt. And so she took that away. And I was like, what? I didn't even know how to handle that. I didn't even know what to do with that situation, because she literally just took it and helped and and then would report back. So for me, it was probably in the first couple of conversations with Kitty where I went, I think we need to put our trust in her, and we need to go down this path, because there is nothing else out there. I haven't, been able to find anything else that's of similar, business model or assistance, and we need help. We never, ever expected our debt to be cut in half. Like, we were just like, when she first told us like what she was aiming for, we did think she was a bit bonkers. Like, I thought she's like so optimistic. I've never seen anything like it. I was sort of like, we were like, I can't believe, that she's going to be able to do that. But I went, go forth. Like, I don't know what I don't know. And you seem to know a lot. So go for it. So for us, she literally, and then when she talked me through, it was so much common sense, but there's no way you would expect that something like that can be negotiated, because no one talks about it, because it's nowhere to be seen. Like, when we've told friends about how she helped us and how she literally got our debt down to an amount that we could literally pay back and, and be debt free at the end of our time with Kitty, like, no one could believe it. And so everyone like looks for flaws. Oh, but does that impact your credit? And does it impact this? And there's got to be something negative. And we were like,
to be true. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, no, she actually negotiated this, and she's, and she's done that. And this is where we've ended up. And it was literally like, yeah, it was so unexpected. We never expected for her to achieve what she did. So I think our debt at the time was, I think, about $50,000. And I'm pretty sure, I think the end result that she got for us, that we paid it off with $22,000. And honestly, like, this whole thing for us, like, it's changed our lives. And every now and then I still send Kitty a little email to just go, hey, we're still debt free. I think it's been like 6 years now or something. It would have been about 6 years ago. I still send her notes to go, we've got savings, we're going to meet with a financial planner to do investments and things like that, because I think even though, like, whether you look at $50,000 as a big amount or a small amount, the impact that it can have on your life, both negative and positive,
the emotional toll,
exactly, it's huge. And so for us, like, when you talk about financial freedom and things like that, I mean, it literally has. It's meant that we could comfortably have a second child. We didn't have to sell our house. We sold it when we wanted to. And we're in a much, comfortable place. And we also have learned from the experience, because we'll never try. Well, look, you say that and things happen, but we're certainly doing everything we possibly can to never be in a position like that ever again.